everybody. It's Dr. Lori, the PhD Antiques Appraiser. This is Ask Dr. Lori Live. Thanks for being with me. My guests are here from all over the world, and everything is unscripted. I don't know what's coming. I'm happy to see all of you. Thanks for being with me. Let's get started. Don't forget about signing up for my newsletter. Subscribe to it now. It's free, and they go out into your inbox, into your email inbox. It's easy to get. That's where you're going to see tips, where specials are, information, updates on my classes. Don't miss a spot in one of my classes too. My guests are here. Let's see what they've got. I need some smiling faces and some interesting objects. Let's see what you guys have got. All right. Don't forget good, clear connections. Plain backgrounds would be great as well. Let's take a look at this necklace. It looks like it is, in fact, a very large pendant. And that pendant, in fact, is actually carved into the piece. Hi, I'm Dr. Lori. How you doing?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
It's nice to see you. Where are you calling from? What's your name?
My name's Dawn. I'm from Alberta, Canada.
Well, it's nice to see you. How did you acquire this, Dawn? You know, my mother had one of these, and she wore it a lot. So yeah. It was funny when I saw it, because I was like, that's a pretty typical piece that maybe a lot of people in my age group might have had, because their moms or grandmoms might have had it. So how did you acquire yours?
I was at a little mission store in Ponoka, Alberta.
Can I see the back?
Sure.
Okay. Right in front of your camera. It's not in front of your camera.
Sorry,
you moved it over. There you go. That's a little better. You'll notice that it's faceted. You'll notice that it's also carved. Some people call them reverse cameos. They have nothing to do with cameos, but cameos are very popular. In fact, it is actually incised in or cut out, that idea that it's cut out. And you can see the two-tone of that particular piece. It's really quite nice. Is the metal marked in any way?
It's not. I stuck a magnet to it, and it does attract a magnet.
Okay. So you have a silver-plated piece typically.
Possibly,
and, yeah. It's a nice piece. They date between 1935 and about 1950. Most of them are right in the middle of World War II and the World War II era. Value on yours, which I'm guessing is about 1.5 to 2 inches from top to bottom.
Yeah, about that.
Value on your piece, just about $150. Thanks for being with me.
Thank you, Dr. Lori.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. Beautiful piece, nice and very typical. A lot of people have them from that time period. They were pretty common. My mom wasn't, dressing up in fine jewels. So, it's pretty common with, the middle classes. So, all right, let's see what we've got. So we've got a ring, and we've got what looks like a book of some sort, but I can't really see the front. And then we've got a necklace of some sort too. The Lone Star Ranger. All right, let's look at the book.
Hi, Dr. Lori.
Hi, how are you? What's your name?
Good. I'm Jackie from Minnesota.
Hi, Jackie. It's nice to see you. The Lone Star Ranger, Zane Grey. Yeah. Okay. What are we looking for? What are we looking for when we're looking for books? Now, here you're not only going to get the appraisals and my expertise from years of course, experience and my education, but I'm going to also show you what to look for. So, nice, strong spine. I want to see the spine of the book. When you open the book, I want to make sure that there's no smell or odor, right? I want to make sure that all of the text or all the imprinting on the book, whether it's the actual pages or in fact on the cover, is very, very clean and clear. So it's not flaking off and you don't have parts that are back or forth. Do you have you have a little bit of water damage to the bottom, it looks like.
Right.
Okay. So a little bit of that deterioration. Do you have and it looks like what you have is you have a signature, but it looks like that's a printed signature, not an original signature, correct?
Well, I looked with your
loop,
with the loop, and it kind of looks like a fountain pen.
Okay, can you get it closer to it, please? I would think it's not a fountain pen. I would think it is it's a printed signature. Okay, that's a printed signature, which is pretty typical. Now, if it was in fact an original signature worth more money, what's the publication date and who's the publisher of the book?
Okay, it's from 1915, copyright, printed in the United States, published January 1915 by Zane Grey.
Okay, so it's published by Zane Grey. Great. So that's what you're looking for. Value on that book, about $55 retail, based on actual sales records where similar pieces have sold. It's not a listing of someone who may not know how to analyze the market. It's not some price of something that just sits there. But that particular piece, that's your value for it. That's a nice piece. How'd you acquire it, hon?
I got it from the Goodwill outlet, and actually I bought they gave a whole collection of Zane Grey.
Okay. Well, we do it that particular one. When you have full volume sets, sometimes they have volume sets by the same author, then you would get one value for the whole set, but that's for another day. Nice to see you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
My pleasure. My pleasure. So don't forget about what you're looking for when you're looking for books. That frontage page is very important. Of course, the publisher is important because many different publishers will publish the same book. Also, of course, condition of the piece. So I took into consideration the condition, that water damage. You don't want to store books, of course, in basements. And a lot of people will put books in a box and put them in the basement. And, you know, that's an easy place for, of course, water to seep in. So be careful. My guests are here. Let's see what they've got. Now let's see, we've got a plate and we've got a piece of glass and we've got another piece. That connection doesn't look very good to me. Let's take a look at the plate.
Hey, Dr. Lori.
Hi, how are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. Thanks for asking. So tell me, any marks on this plate and how did you acquire it? And what's your name and where you're calling from? I forgot the main stuff.
I'm Amy. I'm from upstate New York. I have 12 of these plates. They were in the family. My cousin sent them to me for Christmas. She's been going through my grandparents' house.
Oh, well, that's nice. Okay. Yes. That was nice of her, isn't it?
Very nice. They say Glenwood, Glen and Son, England on the back.
Let's go on the front of the plate. Show me the front of the plate. Some elements of an English plate. So, you know, people are saying, what if it doesn't have a mark? How do I know it's an English plate? Well, a couple of things. You see that cobalt, that blue color, and then there's sort of a design of more of a russet orange color and some gold. And usually there are sort of panes or panels of floral elements. They are connected with garlands, right? These floral garlands. It's very English. It's very British, right? It's sort of this idea that the plate sort of has movement in its area. So the plate's round, there's sort of a little bit of rosette here, and a little bit of rose here, a little bit of rose here. And they usually just connect the colors and they connect it with the garlands. Very English in terms of it. The middle is almost always, of course, plain. Now, for those of you who are going to say, but that's not every plate, Dr. Lori, that's not every plate. I know it's not every English plate, but particularly for plates like this one, which date to the early years of the 20th century, that's what you're typically going to see. Notice also that you have a scalloped or movement around the edge, so that edge is not straight edge. It's an edge that has a little bit of decoration, a little bit of movement or texture around it. Also quite English. That's nice. Now you told me, Amy, but I forgot. How many did your cousin or your friend send or your relative send you?
12.
12. Great.
12.
No chips, no cracks, no inclusions, no abrasions, no scratches, nothing.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Excellent. So each one, $30 for each one.
Wow.
Okay. Times 12 plus 10%. Now, all that math you have to do, but 30 times 12 plus 10%. What's the 10% for? Collection value, because you have a service for 12. Very nice.
Is the blue painted and the rest transfer? Because it looks like on each one, the blue and the orange look different.
Yes. No. There's transfer and then there's hand highlighting or hand painting. So I see some of that orange that actually is hand done.
Right.
But the underside of it is actually transferred. And then the gilt is usually transferred as well. But those are 12 nice plates. So
yeah, I'm pretty happy.
You could use them if you do use them for a holiday or special occasion. No microwave, no dishwasher, no refrigerator, right? So you're going to have to deal with them by hand, or they just go up into the cabinet and they look nice.
I say pumpkin pie only.
Okay, pumpkin pie only.
Pumpkin pie.
I've got a good recipe for you. It's really easy. So look for it on my Facebook page.
I will.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Thank you.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Yeah, a lot of recipes on my Facebook page. I was like, why are you doing food? Why am I doing food? I don't know. I was cooking. I figured I would do that. Interesting painting to my right. Which one? This right or this right? Because I don't know which right you're looking at. But one is a piece that was done during what's called a portrait marathon, where you raise money for museums with a portrait marathon. So they would paint your portrait. That was done. And then the other one is a nice little still life painting, actually. So a little landscape painting of flowers, not really a still life. So anyway, my guests are here. It's good to see all of you. Thanks for being with me. I like those plates. Pumpkin pie only, she said. That's a nice piece too. Wow, we're doing China. Well, you know, China's very hot. China's very big, right? Let's take a look at the blue-white China. which kind of looks like Royal Copenhagen, but many people will, of course, follow Royal Copenhagen. And of course, Meissen also resembles Royal Copenhagen too. Hi, Dr. Lori here. How you doing?
Hi, Dr. Laura. I'm doing well. My name's Lisa, and I'm from Michigan.
Hi, Lisa. It's nice to see you. Go blue.
Go blue. Go blue.
So tell me, what have you got here?
It is a platter. It is 17.5 by 13. I think it is a Meissen.
Can I see the back?
It looks like a Meissen mark here on the front.
Looks like a Meissen mark on the front. You've got the blue onion there too.
Yeah.
We'll talk about the blue onion in a minute. Oh yeah, okay. Here's what I like about it. Look at the beautiful bright white porcelain. You even see the reflection of the light from the back from her fixture, her light fixture above. That's really pretty nice. I also like a couple of elements about Meissen, some of the things that you guys should be looking for. One of them is called the blue onion. Very, very famous, of course, pattern. And there are a lot of famous patterns in these particular pieces. When you think of Tiffany, you might think of Paloma Picasso, or, the patterns that would be done, or the designs that would be done by a particular designer. In this particular case, you're looking at a very quintessentially German, basically Meissen type of form. The other thing I like about it, I like the formed handles, F-O-R-M-E-D handles, formed handles on each end. So you can pick them up either way, right? And that platter is really quite nice. That's called scrollwork detail. They are hand painted. That one's in very nice condition. Dates to the latter part of the 19th century, looking back at the 17th century. So it's looking back at, pieces in the age of Rembrandt, but in fact, this is later. So how'd you acquire it?
I was inherited.
Nice. I like to see family heirlooms too, along with all of our thrift store shopping pieces. It's lovely to see family heirlooms. Do you have a full set? Do you have other pieces of it, or is it just the platter that you got?
I have a round plate that's, what do they call it?
Reticulated.
Reticulated, yeah.
Reticulated, punched out.
It's a blue onion, yeah.
That one's very nice. I would say value on this piece all day, every day, about $700.
Oh my gosh.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Dr. Lori.
It's really my pleasure. It's a gorgeous piece. And of course, those are based on the market and the market analysis right now. Very, very big. People are trading China very, very hot. I was on a television program on Tuesday, my regular spot, and they were saying, I can't believe the China is really hot now. Now, of course, it's a family heirloom, so you don't want to sell it. But it's a beautiful piece. It's a beautiful piece. I hope you love it, and I hope you use it for nice, and I hope you can have the opportunity to hand it down too.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lori. Appreciate it. Appreciate
Take
you.
care. Nice to see you. That's a gorgeous piece, and it's big. Size is extremely important when it comes to, of course, these types of platters. The decoration's important, and being able to automatically recognize too. And I want you guys to be able to do this so you can succeed. That's what I can teach you that others really can't, that you can actually succeed. Joan, thank you about my hair. After the day I had today, I got to tell you, I should have stayed at the hair salon as I did yesterday, because that was a calm place. It's been a little wild here today. But I will say thank you very much for that. I don't take a lot of time to pamper, so it was nice to be pampered. So I appreciate you noticing it. I think we should all take a little more time to pamper ourselves. Okay, we've got this piece, which looks like, oh gosh, that connection's not good. And then I've got that piece. Wow. Yeah, I could be convinced of that. All right, let's see. You've got that little piece. I gotta say, I want to make sure we have plain backgrounds, nothing behind us. The piece that is the picture. Let's go to the picture, please. Yeah. Okay. Hi, Dr. Lori. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Where are you and what's your name?
Columbus, Ohio. Elise.
Hi, Elise. So tell me, how did you acquire this piece?
I bought it at an auction.
Okay.
And I was just interested because I liked sometimes these ones with the pewter top.
Do you like the fact that that particular top, that base metal or white metal top is in fact curved? I like the curve.
Yes.
Okay. I also like the fact that it has a very nice Northern European kind of look. Is it marked in any way?
It is. I think it's I looked up the mark. I think it's like Thomas Dinton or Dimmick. Sorry, Dimmick.
Okay, so you found the maker's mark on it. I like the fact that it is embossed. Basically, you can see, of course, the texture of it. Can we see the side of it?
Sure.
There we go. I know you're all focusing on the marks, but I like you to get an idea of what we're looking for with respect to transferware ceramics. So the decoration around the band, around the body, it would be the waist, if you will, of that particular picture. And then you'll notice that you've got embossed pieces as well. You've got embossed flowers as well at the top of the spout and at the bottom of the spout. And then she's pointing out to me, Elisa's pointing out to me, of course, that very, very large crack chip loss. Now, that's not just a crack or a chip. That's a crack, chip, and a loss. So you don't have that piece to repair it. So that's really a problem. Now, time period for the piece is going to date to the turn of the 20th century. And I would say in good condition, it's probably worth about $275. In that condition, it's probably worth closer to $90.
Okay.
Okay. What'd you pay?
Couple bucks.
Couple bucks is good at the auction.
Probably
Remember,
even less.
You can find bargains at the auction. What attracted you? Was it the color? Was it the patterning? What was it?
I think just the old style pewter.
It's not pewter at the top, darling. That's a white metal. Now, people might identify that as pewter, but it's a white metal or a base metal.
Okay.
Pewter would not typically be used on a piece of that quality, right? So it's sort of a middle of the road in terms of quality picture. And then typically they'll put white metal. White metal is a base metal, a lot of different metal alloys put together and then actually molded into it. But I like it. It's a nice form. I wish it were in better condition.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Nice to meet you. Thank you. So that's a nice piece. You know, you can find a lot of great things at auction. I always say, try to focus your collecting the best you can. Try to do that. The Presidium is going to teach you a lot. You're going to be able to begin to identify with your eye and then focus those particular gemstones when you use the Presidium. So you're going to be testing with the Presidium gemstone tester, and then you're going to say to yourself, oh, wait a minute, before I even test this, let me guess. Let me see if I think that's an amethyst or a tourmaline or what it is. And that's basically what we're thinking. Do people have to show your face to display items? I like to see people's faces. So yeah, I think it's important that I see you, you see me. Yeah, I'd like to see your face. Nothing wrong with your face. Now, if there's some reason why you have some issue with that, you can always do it a different way and get in touch with me a different way. But I do think that, you know, I like to see your faces. I also have to remind all of you that this is a show for other viewers too. So they want to see your faces and hear your stories. It's not just about, oh, here's an object and here's a value. It's about what to look for. Who are you? What's happening? You know, there's a lot more fun in it. So am I going to make rules? Well, you know, I don't like to make rules, but yeah, I think I'd like to see your face. And I think that the viewers would too. So I hope that's not a problem. Let's see. We've got guests galore. Let's see what they've got. Very, very slow connection. Let's take a look at this piece of glass. Can I take a look at this piece of glass? And this person with those red eye glasses, they're kind of pinkish. They're kind of rose, right?
Yes.
What's your name, hon?
Christine, and I'm in Fort Pierce, Florida.
Fort Pierce, Florida. Okay. Yeah. So what have you got there, Christine?
Well, I do believe it's a fake, but it's marked Lalique.
Okay, hold on. I do believe it's a fake. So right out of the chute, you don't think it's the real thing. So you don't think it's a real Lalique piece. You think it's someone faking the work of René Lalique, correct? The French,
possibly.
Of course.
Nobody can tell me, so I'm relying.
Nobody can tell you. So the last ditch effort, you come to the PhD, right?
Yeah, but you selected me, so thank you.
So tell me a couple of things. What's happened? So you get the piece and you don't think it's real. Why don't you think it's real? What's wrong with it? Then I'll tell you what's wrong.
A website for our Lalique, and somebody showed a fake object pretty similar to this.
Okay.
But again, it's, you know, the older Lalique is not crystal. This is very heavy. It's marked our Lalique, but it does have some damage. And the other question is,
can you put the object in front of the camera?
Oh, sorry.
That's all right, babe.
I'm looking at me instead of.
That's okay, honey. I know. Well, you know, you start talking and then you forget. It's fine.
That's right.
So you went to some website of some person who you don't know who this source is or what their background is or what their experience or education is, right?
Yeah, it's a society. So
Okay.
who knows who runs it?
Okay. And basically they have this information and it looks a lot like yours, and they're deeming that that one is in fact the one that they have is fake.
Yes.
And their criteria for why it is fake is it's
that they don't explain.
okay. And this is what you need to know so you can be empowered, so you can do this on your own. So
Right.
it's heavy. So you're thinking it's too heavy. So it isn't the type of pieces that in this time period Lalique was making. Is that your point?
No, just that it's but they just said it was fake. So I guess the other thing is the frosted glass. Is it possible to rub that off, the frosted part?
Iridescence?
No, you know
No.
how Lalique is.
No.
Lalique is.
They have a frosted thing. I know what you're saying. So basically a couple of things that are happening. First of all, you have a piece that date in your hand. You have a piece that is not an original true piece of Lalique, was not made by Lalique. It's somebody who is in fact trying to model a piece after Lalique.
I think so. I
and
hope
this
not.
happened- Well, I just confirmed it. That's what it is.
Okay.
Maybe I wasn't clear. I
Oh,
do not
sorry.
think you have a real piece of Lalique there.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I don't think you have it.
That's
Now,
good.
That's good that you were able to recognize it. So the criteria for it is what's going to help everybody else, right? So first of all, don't rely only on a signature, right?
Right.
Right. So people are relying on these signatures and you're saying, but the materials aren't right and the pattern isn't right and the shape and the size and the feel and the weight isn't right. So if all those other characteristics aren't right, it's very easy to sign a piece. They would take those handheld engraving tools and they just engrave it. They did it on Tiffany. They did it on Lalique. They did it for a lot of pieces. So be aware of that. Value on your piece. How did you acquire your piece?
Believe it or not, in a thrift store, it was only $2.75 because somebody didn't notice the mark. But then again,
it's a fake, but a fake probably worth about 40. The real, if it were a real Lalique, you'd be well into the hundreds.
Yeah, well, I won't get it repaired. Thank you.
Nice to see you.
Thanks.
My pleasure. So remember, it's not only about the signatures. I've been trying to teach you a lot for years that, you have to be able to identify the materials, the quality, and identify the quality. The more you look at it, the more you handle it, the more you'll know it, right? Now, she was fortunate because she was able to find somebody who got it right. But in fact, you have to make sure that you're asking questions and, be polite, but ask questions. What is your background? Why do you think that this piece isn't the real thing? Because you're going by sources that may or may not be credible sources. Now, a lot of people are just trying to help, sometimes they get it right. Sometimes they get it wrong. So, but I think that's a nice example of what you're looking for. Now, again, a lot of people do miss the marks too. So you want to make sure that when you are looking at these pieces in the thrift store, at the yard sale, that you turn it over, that you look for the mark. Get the loop, not because I'm telling you to get the loop. Well, actually, yeah, because I'm telling you to get the loop because all of you have been telling me, and that's what I want to see in the comments. Did the loop help you? Where do you get the loop? Special shop page, go all the way down. You can scroll down and go to Go Shopping Now. Yes, I get compensation when you purchase a loop. The loops are an inexpensive way for you to open a whole new world. And if you have been benefited from the loop, for example, put it in the comments, because it's really true that once you use that loop and you start to see things, you're going to start to identify it. You're going to educate those eyeballs, and no one's going to stop you. They're not going to be able to stop you. You're going to find those pieces that are on that treasure hunt of yours. You're going to find those pieces that are valuable. And I'm going to help you do it. I'm Dr. Lori. Let's see what you've got. So we've got a figural lion. I appraised another lion today, actually. And then you've got a piece of, looks like a glass piece with overlay. I don't see any smiling here. Everybody's like, oh, yeah, I'm just up my object. I would like to see a little bit more, a little more smiling. And I need focus on, your cameras have to be horizontal, please. The person with the face has no horizontal on the camera. If you could change that, that would be good. Let's go with the lion. Let's see what Leo has to say for himself tonight. How are you doing?
I'm good, thanks.
Nice to see you. I'm Lori. What's happening?
Not much.
What's your name?
Michelle.
Michelle.
You just talked to my sister just the other day. Her and Mario in the back seat with the purse.
Mario was in the back seat with the purse. What's your sister's name? She was fun too. Denise.
Denise. Yes.
Yes.
I'm Michelle.
30 years married or something.
Yes, I'm 35 in
Oh my
with mine.
God.
Yeah, right?
Really?
Yep, 35.
I'm a long time. I'm even longer single.
Oh, wow.
I got you guys beat.
Yeah.
But that's funny. So it's nice to meet you and your family. You guys are a lot
Thank
of
you.
fun. Thank you for the super chats and super stickers. They, of course, show your appreciation, and I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for recognizing all we do. So tell me about this piece. You've got this figural lion.
So I picked this up in a yard sale for $2.
What made you buy it?
I just liked how detailed it was.
Okay.
Just the shape of the face and the mane. And then I had Googled that it was a red mill manufacturer. So I Googled it and it said it was worth probably about $100. But that's the only thing I came up with that.
So you Googled it. You found somebody who's listing it for $100. You said that's the value.
Well, no, I knew it wasn't that high of a value, but I just like the detailing. It was very detailed.
Okay.
With the paws and the mane.
I have to say that, you know, I've traveled many places, and there are a couple things I do when I travel. One of the things, I always go to the museums. I usually take in a sports event, a baseball game, a basketball game, soccer, something, sports in that city. And the other thing is a zoo. So, you know, I've seen a lot of lions, and I have to say that this lion looks pretty realistic. You know, that's a beauty of it. The idea of course, what's called direct carving or realistic sculpture is introduced in the early 20th century. And that particular piece is a composite. So a composite piece, which is usually molded, but somebody has to actually carve out to create the mold. So that's what you're looking at. That's a really nice piece. And of course, it's a relatively well-known maker. Value on it, I would put it about $75. And that's pretty good for your investment at the yard sale. A lot of people will just poo-poo sculpture. A lot of people will make a sculpture into a lamp because we can't just have a sculpture hanging around. Goodness help us. We have to make it into something functional, you know? But that particular piece I think is really quite nice. It's not too big. That's the other thing that I do like about it. It's not too big. How much did you pay for it, Michelle?
$2.
You can't beat $2, right?
Can't beat $2.
Terrific. Nice to see you. Say hello to the extended family. Mario's a keeper.
I will. I will tell her.
Right. See ya. My pleasure. My pleasure. So again, those types of pieces, remember, if the actual mold is good, right, then of course the cast will be good. That's a casting, basically. They put it into a mold and then they make it. It's a nice piece. I like it a lot. And I like the realism of the animal too. Many people will look back at those pieces and remember something called French animalier sculpture, or animal sculptures, made famous by artisans like Rosa Bonheur and others. So that was a nice one for $2. I like that. My guests are here from all over. Let's see what they've got. We talked a little bit about China. We've got a nice blue-white bowl. And then we've got another piece here. Looks like some kind of pin, but I can't really see the pin. Can't really see it very well. It's hard to see. And then we've got that problem. Oh, it's a ring. I see. It's a ring. And then there's another ring. Let's take a look at this star ring. Let's give some new folks a chance. Hi, what's your name?
Deanna from Springfield, Missouri.
Hi, Deanna. I like this piece a lot. I like the multicolored gemstones. You've got, of course, you've got some peridot. You've got a garnet. You've got some other pieces. I like this ring. This is a ring, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about how you acquired it. Was it handed down the family?
I inherited it when a friend passed away.
Okay. So what do you know about it?
It was hers from Order of the Eastern Star, and it's 10 karat white gold.
Good.
I don't have a presidium, but I did test that I have a diamond tester, and they were real.
It's the real thing. Okay. Most of the time, if the diamonds are real, the other gemstones typically, but you can't say that every single time. So those are very nice. But yes, so the Order of the Eastern Star, very, very well known. That's a very characteristic ring. A lot of people will have them. You'll see them. Now, they're very coveted, honored, respected So that's a very nice piece that she gave it to you. So you must be very, very close and important to each other. 10 karat white gold. So value on the ring. Now it depends on the color, the clarity, carat weight of course, the diamonds, which are going to have the most value. The other pieces too the other gemstones too will have value. I would put it in the $500 to $750 range. And I'm giving it a range because I can't tell you from where I'm sitting, color, clarity, carat weight. You have to get a gemologist to do that for the diamonds. The diamond looks pretty significant, at least a carat or more. But in fact, the other stones are going to be valuable too. So I would say 10 karat white gold. I'd like to see it 14 or 18 karat white gold, but okay. I would say about $750 is where we are in that ring.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining me on Ask Dr. Lori Live. And thanks to all of you for joining me on Ask Dr. Lori Live. I'm Dr. Lori. See you next time.